สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Welcome to NBT World's The Fireside. I'm Benjamin Ruchobakan.
And I'm Warisa Nidanat Gomon. Every week we have a fireside chat exploring what's going on in Thailand, diving deep into our latest obsessions.
Now, every year, we find that more people are reaching retirement and asking, do they have to retire in their home country? Because instead, it might be worth it for them to go abroad where their pension or their social security check goes further, maybe like 2 or 3 times further. And foreign retirees also have to consider the cost of their healthcare because healthcare becomes more and more important as they get older. And many countries can offer world-class care without the wait times or the eye-watering bills. So for plenty of people, it's simply that either of those, a search for a slower pace, a better climate, and a fresh start after decades of routine is also, worth moving for, the lifestyle of another country. So whatever the reason, one country keeps showing up in the answer when they finally decide where to go, and that's Thailand, because International Living's 2026 annual Global Retirement Index just ranked it 9th in the world and the best in Southeast Asia. So Thailand is a great place to retire, apparently.
Yeah, and because of that, we're going to discuss 2 things about this. The first one is what specifically is that keeps drawing retirees to Thailand over everywhere else? And the second question is, once you've decided to come to Thailand, where exactly in Thailand do you want to spend the rest of your life at, right? We're going to cover those household names, but we're also going to take you to, quieter alternatives sitting right next door to each other.
That's right. So every year, International Living puts out its annual Global Retirement Index, and it's becoming something of a Bible for anyone weighing whether to spend their retirement abroad. The organization has been doing it for more than 40 years, drawing on a network of expats and correspondents that actually live in these countries, and they're not just visiting. So here's where the index landed on for 2026. This is the top 10. At number 10, Malaysia, our neighbor to the south, and number 9 is Thailand. Then we have 4 European countries. We have 8 is Spain, 7 is France, 6 is Italy, and 5 is Portugal. They're all on the Mediterranean coast, so we know what they prefer there in Europe. The next few entries are all in Latin America. 4 is Mexico, 3 is Costa Rica, and 2 is Panama. And finally, in first place, we're circling back to the Mediterranean Sea for Greece. So Greece is number 1 on the list. So if you just look at the geography, Europe shows up 5 times, Latin America 3 times, and Southeast Asia twice. Do you have any thoughts as to why certain regions dominate?
I have no idea, but all I can say is that from this list, it's kind of apparent that, maybe the food is good because all these countries have really yummy food.
They have great food, that's true. And also there is the thing of blue zones where there are simply places that older people live longer, where people regularly hit 100. And so there's something about the combination of the food, the lifestyle, the health, so something in all 3 that puts their minds at ease, when they want to live there. So did you find any of these destinations surprising, or did you expect to see others on the list as well?
I guess I'm a little bit surprised because I'm more surprised that Thailand ranked 9. I thought it would have ranked higher, but maybe I'm just biased towards Thailand. How about yourself?
I think we're super biased towards Thailand. I always thought like top 5 or something, right?
Yeah.
But there are other lists that rank us higher, and we'll get there. So in my opinion, I think that another great place to live might be, I also like Latin America, but perhaps Chile. I am very fond of Latin America, in my opinion. I think that the food is great, the people are warm, and I think culturally we're not altogether that dissimilar between Southeast Asia and Latin America. So yeah. Great places though. Costa Rica sounds lovely. Panama sounds great. So not too many surprises in my opinion.
Let's get into the criteria on how they actually rank this list. So the index is built from 7 scored categories. First is the housing. the question that you want to ask is, can I actually get housing here, and will my money go far when I do? Now, this is whether foreigners can legally buy or lease long-term, and what that dollar for dollar value looks like. For example, a $500 monthly rental in one country might get you a studio, and in another, a beachfront with 2 bedrooms, so very different. And the second one is visas and benefits. Will the government actually let me stay and make it worth my while? This looks at how easy it is to get in on a tourist visa, how straightforward it is to convert that into something long-term. And then we have the cost of living. What does an ordinary month actually cost? International Living gave its respondents a full questionnaire covering rent, groceries, utilities, even a flight home to see the grandkids. The cheaper that number, the higher the score.
That's something I never really thought about, because yeah, you're not necessarily going to stay in your forever home. Every now and then you're going to want to fly back, see the grandkids, or you're going to want to pay for the grandkids to come see you, and you don't want that ticket price to be too high either, right? So next, we have affinity rating. Will I actually be happy here? This is the one category that isn't pure math, like it's about whether or not you can make friends, if English is spoken. This is the stuff that makes a place feel like a home rather than just affordable. Healthcare is another category. If something goes wrong, will I be okay, and will it bankrupt me? I definitely felt that in the States, but if you score on both quality and cost, will the best ranked countries offer care that rivals the West at a fraction of the cost? And I think that's why we find Thailand on the list. Development and governance. Does the place actually work? So we're talking about good roads, reliable internet, and a banking system that you can actually trust. This is the difference between a retirement and a headache.
Yes. And the last one is climate. And this is the Goldilocks category, right? And maybe the most interesting to score as well, because it's not just, is the weather nice? It's how much choice you actually get living there. For example, in Belize, it's a tropical and warm place all year round, actually. But Ecuador can give you the same tropical warmth on its coast, but also permanent snowfields, which is very interesting. It has cool mountain towns at 8,000 feet, all within driving distance from each other. And also because Ecuador has more variety, it also scored higher than Belize.
Now that we're looking at all 7 of these categories, we talked about housing, visas, cost of living, affinity, if you're going to be happy there, healthcare, and development, governance, and climate. So which would you find is the most important for you personally?
I think this all goes back to how much money I have accumulated for my retirement, because if I'm financially secured, I guess, the variety of the climate would be more interesting to me. But if I am very limited with my resources and budget, then I'll have to look at cost of living and healthcare first.
My opinion, those should be number 1 and number 2. Cost of living and healthcare, it's probably the most important consideration for myself as well. I think if I had to pick a number 3, it would probably be something like visas and benefits, because I know that can be a real headache. That can be a real headache for people coming in and out all the time, right? So now that we know Thailand made the cut, we have to know why, and that's where we're going to head next.
Right. And Thailand routinely makes several international rankings for retiring destinations, not just at International Living. So Forbes' Best Place to Retire Abroad rankings highlighted Thailand for its excellent affordable healthcare and for its low cost of living. Now, Expatriate Group's 2026 Retirement Abroad Index ranks Thailand second in the world, behind the Philippines. And relocation research from Rumavi, which scores 192 countries by different personas, places Thailand at 4th globally, specifically for retirees, citing standout affordability and digital infrastructure scores. So different organizations using different methodologies are arriving at the same basic conclusion that Thailand is considered a top-tier retirement destination.
I was surprised that we got second in the world for Expatriate Group's 2026 ranking, but then you got beat out by the Philippines. You know, the Philippines, they have a great English literacy, and, you know, they probably have a great quality of life as well, you know, so that is really attractive to retirees. So for IL contributor Barton Walters, who lives in Pattaya, actually, the answer comes down to one single word, and that's easy. His life runs on a minimum amount of friction. He has one key, two cards, and a phone that handles everything else. He gets high-speed internet under $20 a month, a weekly maid service for $15, a 2-hour massage for around $12, and a same-day doctor's appointments booked online. So a single retiree can live comfortably in Chiang Mai as well for around $1,200 a month. That's rent, food, and enough left over for the odd $2 beer every now and then at happy hour. Now, a couple living on 2 average Social Security checks, roughly $3,800 a month, can afford a beachside 2-bedroom in Pattaya or Hua Hin, plus groceries and regular meals out. And for retirees with $100,000 to spend on property outright, that can mean a studio in central Bangkok, a 1-bedroom near the beach, or a bungalow in a gated community, or a muban. Now, if you double that budget, now you're starting to look at townhouses, pool villas, and sea view condos come into that range as well. So in Thailand, cost of living is a huge factor.
For sure. Yes, and healthcare tells a similar story. Private insurance and treatment costs in Thailand typically run about a third of U.S. prices at hospitals that meet the same accreditation standards Western patients expect. Now, the visa landscape has also kept pace. Beyond the standard retirement visa, there's now a 10-year long-term resident visa for higher income retirees, alongside options for digital nomads who want to ease into the country before fully retiring.
That's right. We talked a lot about the DTV visa, and we know that Destination Thailand visa is great for digital nomads, and it's very lax compared to the other visa options. In my opinion, it's a great chance for people to dip their toe, and usually it's good for if you're on a medical visa or, you know, are coming to enjoy some aspect of Thai soft power, and you got to check out the details for that. But cost only tells half the story, because IL contributor Michael Collins points to something a little less tangible. Thailand lies at the center of mainland Southeast Asia, with road and rail connections to the surrounding countries and direct flights putting the rest of Asia within a few hours' reach. So it makes Thailand a retirement base that also doubles as a launch pad for the rest of Southeast Asia. So that geography, paired with year-round festivals like Songkran and Loi Krathong, a genuinely warm and low-pressure society, and healthcare infrastructure that keeps improving, makes a good cost of living spreadsheet into an actual life that people want to live. So the why is clear. We're talking about affordability, healthcare, visas, genuine ease of living that keeps showing up across every ranking. Now the question is, where in Thailand do most people actually want to retire?
And this is where things can get a little bit repetitive. So if you ask a traveler writer or an expat forum about where to retire in Thailand, you'll likely hear the same handful names over and over again, right? So you got Chiang Mai, Phuket, Pattaya, Hua Hin, and also, of course, Bangkok. They're famous for a reason. We're not going to pretend otherwise. But Thailand is a huge country, and some of the most compelling retirement spots barely make it into anybody's radar. So for the rest of this episode, we're going to tour region by region through the country's best-known retirement hubs, and for each one, pairing it with an alternative that offers a lot of the same appeal. Of course, minus the crowds and often minus the chunk of price tag too.
That's right. So in the north, we have Chiang Mai. That is a great retirement destination. It's the culture center of the historical Lan Na Kingdom, with over 300 Buddhist temples that are wrapped around an ancient city, still ringed by a moat and remnants of the old defensive walls. It sits at the doorstep of the country's highest peak, Doi Intanon National Park, which offers a genuinely satisfying mix of outdoor athletics like hiking and mountain biking. And additionally, Chiang Mai is home to several hill tribe villages, all of which contribute to a unique culture that is both diverse and inspiring. So Chiang Mai enjoys all of its mountain charms without sacrificing modern amenities as well. We have infrastructure like universities, technical colleges, and one of Thailand's most established expat communities. It's also UNESCO recognized as part of the Creative Cities Network as the creative city of folk arts and crafts. Its flower and umbrella festivals draw crowds from across the country every year. So for retirees who want cooler air, mountain views, and culture without going fully off-grid, Chiang Mai is the obvious answer, which is exactly why it's so well known.
But Chiang Mai's popularity also has its trade-off. So decades of expat migration have pushed up prices and crowded some of its most charming areas. And that's where Mae Hong Son comes in, tucked further into the west, into the mountains near the Myanmar border. Mae Hong Son is a genuinely different experience. It's home to hill tribes like the Shan or Thai Yai and Hmong, ringed by waterfalls and untouched rainforests with the Pai River running along its edge. Retirees looking for real countryside simplicity can watch the mountain fog roll in the Yun Lai viewpoint, spend a night in the hill-tried homestay, or just settle into a slower rhythm around Jong Kam Lake, framed by its twin temples. Housing outside town can run under $500 a month, and daily costs stay low thanks to fresh local markets.
That's right, but it's worth noting that Mae Hong Son has a much thinner safety net in terms of healthcare options, which is very important for retirees. There are a few major hospitals, but the transfer to the ones in Chiang Mai for tertiary care can take several hours. So Mae Hong Son is a different kind of retirement for people who are prioritizing seclusion and peace and nature over convenience.
And now we're going to look at the Isan region. Now, Khon Kaen is often considered the commercial and political hub of the northeastern region. It's home to the region's largest university and known for high-quality silk production alongside a growing focus on education and technology. It's one of the fastest growing provinces in the country, which gives it a different energy than the more established retirement hubs, less settled expat scene, more getting in on the ground floor. Now, daily life here is genuinely affordable. Around $600 a month is all that you need to cover your basics, with a one-bedroom apartment running as little as $166 per month outside the city center. Now, retirees can spend evenings at Ton Tan Market for live music and street food, morning joggings around the Bung Ken Nakhon Public Park with views of the Wat Nong Wang, and have access to real medical infrastructures, including a JCI-accredited private hospital with doctors across 60 specialties.
That's right, but right across, right next door, we have Udon Thani, and its expat community actually predates Khon Kaen, tracing it back to the Vietnam War when the migration of American GIs into the area permanently blended Thai and Western influence. That history runs even further back as well. The National Museum of Ban Chiang here is one of Thailand's first, or rather 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites built around Bronze Age pottery and artifacts. So a lot of interesting culture there. We have a city that really rewards curiosity. Phupabat Historical Park has ancient rock formations, cave paintings, and dinosaur footprints. It has also, if paleontology is not your thing, a 9-hole golf course with rounds out that leisure option, and the international dining scene reflects decades of foreign residents rather than the recent arrival of them. So the cost of living here is even lower than in Khon Kaen at around $522 a month, with one-bedroom rentals averaging $223 in the city center.
Yeah, and so the trade-off is really about character rather than money, right? So Udon Thani offers history and an older, more settled expat presence, while Khon Kaen offers momentum and a younger, more forward-looking energy.
That's right. So now we're going to leave the upper 2 regions of Thailand for the east, where we have Pattaya, and that is Thailand's original beach boomtown. And it's a household name that comes with a very specific reputation, I think. Pattaya is a full-scale resort destination with high-rise condos, an international dining scene, and active expat clubs that really give newcomers an easy way to plug into a ready-made social circle. So a household name because of its affinity, I think. So, however, because of that draw as a resort city, it has a rowdy nightlife and has a high tourist density as well, which is not necessarily appealing to all retirees. That can become the draw for some, but not necessarily all. Whichever camp that you're in, the infrastructure here is solid, however, because as an established healthcare scene, it has direct access to transit links. It has decades of foreign residents who've built a genuine home here rather than just passing through.
Now, for retirees who want a similar experience with the coastline without the same scene, we have two options. We have the Sriracha, which is the home of the original Sriracha sauce, which is the spicy Thai sauce, and is the quieter neighborhood just up the coast, and it's built its own expat backbone. Its long-established Japanese and Western community is tied to nearby industrial estates. That means that everyday conveniences are already built into place. We have international restaurants, well-stocked supermarkets, and modern lifestyle hubs like Central Sriracha with its open-air green spaces and retails. Residents describe it as far less frantic and tourist-centric, letting long-form expats live at a genuinely local rhythm instead of feeling like a perpetual visitor in their own hometown. Now, Pattaya's hospitals are also close enough that healthcare access isn't really a concern.
That's right. I mean, if you live close enough to where all the infrastructure is, it's like it's yours, you know, right? You don't really have to choose in that case. Meanwhile, Bang San leans more Thai-centric by comparison. This is a university town because it's home to Burapha University with a lively local food scene, night markets, and a beach promenade that sees continuous upgrades for walking and cycling along Wat Napa and Bang San beaches. Its biggest draw for retirees might actually be logistical. It's an easy, popular weekend trip from Bangkok, which makes it simple for visiting family or friends to reach and simple to get into the capital yourself when you have to. Now, the cost of living here also runs lower than Pattaya, especially for housing and rentals, with the coastal rhythm built around fresh seafood markets rather than resort dining.
So both alternatives share the same trade-off. So neither has Pattaya's nightlife, and you'll likely want to learn more Thai to get around because it's very local.
Now, over to the south, of course, we cannot do this list without Phuket. Phuket is Thailand's flagship island, the country's largest and the most developed for high-end tropical living. Phuket is like Thailand's Bali, basically. So it's home to multiple JCI accredited hospitals with full-scale cardiology, oncology, and orthopedic wards staffed by English fluent, Western trained specialists, plus direct billing arrangements with major global insurers. Very important. That level of infrastructure also extends into daily life. We have massive retail complexes, premium grocery chains, imported goods, so nothing really feels like a compromise in terms of living abroad. The expat community reflects that scale as well. We have tens of thousands of foreign residents segmented into distinct scenes. You're going to see the yachting circle around the eastern marinas. You're going to get wellness-focused communities at Bang Tao and longtime budget retirees in Rawai. Now, Phuket town's Peranakan Chinese Thai heritage also adds some real color, some real cultural texture. And the island's UNESCO City of Gastronomy status means that everything from Michelin-star dining to old-school street food is still on the table.
Right. But nothing is perfect, right? It does have its flaws. So some might find Phuket to be a bit transactional, heavily westernized environment. Its convenience comes with a fair bit of traffic and a premium price tag. You can expect somewhere in the range of $1,000 to $2,000 a month for an expat lifestyle in high-demanded areas. And Krabi operates on a different scale entirely, and it's upfront about the gap. Now, local hospitals handle routine care and emergencies well, but anything genuinely serious like complex cardiac work, advanced oncology typically means a transfer back to Phuket or Bangkok. Now, retail is similarly scaled down with hypermarkets covering the basics, but specialty Western goods requiring a trip elsewhere. Foods tend to be hyper-local and seafood heavy rather than cosmopolitan, and getting anywhere long haul usually means connecting through Bangkok first, since Krabi's airport is built more for regional hops.
That's right, but The plus side of that is that Krabi's monthly baseline is only $650 to $1,300, and it has a small but tight-knit expat scene that's built around beachside cafes and diving clubs rather than segmented niches necessarily. And it also offers a genuinely traditional pace of life. The call to prayer and monastic bells in a region that blends Thai Buddhism with Southern Thai Muslim communities.
And last but certainly not least, we have Bangkok. As the country's political, economic, and cultural center, Bangkok, or Krungthep Mahanakhon, is the largest city by a wide margin. For retirees who want to stay in the middle of the action, it delivers on nearly every front. So we got world-class private hospitals, a genuinely international dining and art scene, and last but not least, an efficient transport system in the BTS and MRT department.
That's right. And we also have a lot of different neighborhoods. So if you don't like the vibe of one, you can always go for the other, like Sathon and Lumpini, which are the green prestige end of the spectrum that is upscale, it's orderly, and it's anchored by Lumpini Park with top hospitals close by. You got downtown Sukhumvit as the global expat hub, which is trendy, international, packed with premium malls, Western groceries, and top-tier care. Then we have Ari and Pradipat, trade commercial office spaces for a hip, leafy, cafe-driven neighborhood feel. Still just a BTS ride from downtown. Bang Na is in the suburbs, I would say. It's sprawling, kind of centered around major malls and built for those who rather drive and live spaciously than walk the city streets. And finally, I would mention Yawalat and Jalern Kung. It's less common for long-term retirees because of the traffic and the older housing stock, but it's a magnet for anyone who wants to live inside Bangkok's history rather than beside it. So housing here is definitely going to be more expensive than the rest of the country, but even so, a two-bedroom condo can run between $850 to $1,550 a month. So either way, medical treatments cost a fraction of the equivalent care in the US or Europe.
And in this case, if you like Bangkok, I wouldn't get out too far. So on the western side of the Chao Phraya River is Thonburi. Due to different building codes, Thonburi is a much quieter, greener side of the city with its historical canal side neighborhoods anchored by food institutions like Talat Plu. Thonburi, often referred to as the Thon side or Phang Thon, feels like a different town, but it's still connected by the MRT Blue Line and BTS line straight into Sathon's financial district and icon Siam, with major hospitals close at hand.
That's right. And if you don't want to go west, you can still go north. We have Nonthaburi, which offers a different flavor of the same idea. It gives full plug-in access to Bangkok's rapid transit grid via the expanding MRT purple and pink lines, and major shopping hubs and respected private healthcare are also close at hand, along with a noticeably more spacious residential living. Housing costs run 30 to 50% lower than the equivalent Bangkok neighborhoods, so definitely a budget deal.
And now we turn it back to our audience. Is there a good retirement destination that we haven't mentioned yet?
Let us know in the comment section of NBT World's online channels. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Spotify.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ